Hey, happy Thursday. Here's me truck, and this is David Steele, and what a truck this is. This is Jon Ruda's Freightshaker Cascadia 125. Now, I am not going to talk too much about the actual truck model itself, because my good friend Zach has already covered this in a video, and I'm going to put a link to Zach's video review in the description below. Zach, if I don't, just hit me up on Discord, give me a slap. Not a real slap. Anyway, I've configured this as I think it's the 44-inch sleeper. Is that smoke on the horizon? Is that a factory? Okay. Configure this as a medium length sleeper. I'm using Red Thunder color scheme, or at least the whole colors going on there. I configured it more as a fleet truck. So we got some black plastic, some black shiny grille stuff going on, some steely, the 24.5-inch rims. But the real deal, I suppose you might say, is what's under the hood. And today we are running a custom MBE 4000 engine. Okay, so you're thinking, so what? What the heck's one of those? Well, that is the Detroit diesel engine that kind of was more or less the bridge between the Series 60, the 14, well, I suppose the 12.7, the 14 litre, and the DD13. Now, this engine was introduced around about 2000. It was updated 2004 with some EGR and some other emission stuff, and that's the version that I modeled in the simulation today. You know what? Let's go ahead and get this thing started. And I think what I want to do now is, if you're watching this on the day it's released, whoops, there goes my mic. You won't be able to drink because it's going to be 7 o'clock in the morning, at least Texas time. But crack open a beer, a tinny. Thanks, Zach. Thanks, John, for releasing yet another very enjoyable model. Let's go ahead and take a look at the specs of this machine here. Diagnostics. Yep, Cascadia 48-inch sleeper, my bad. I've already used this truck a little bit of wear going on there. It's 159-gallon fuel tank, that's an odd little size. 350 horsepower and 1350 foot-pounds of torque. Now, I'm quoting as 1,000 RPM as when peak torque is. It's 99% at 1,000 RPM. I think peak torque technically is 1,100, but it's good enough for government work. Let's go ahead and close that here. Got 20 million in the bank. Let's find a trip we can do today. I mean, is it Livingston? Yeah. So I want to find some hills. See, are we going to have any hills we can find? That's a little long. Let's try a World of Trucks external. What have we got going on here? These are a little too short. Not reference to my good lady wife, Sandy. Oh, that might be a trip. I mean, I can't get that much further north than, I think it's Sandpoint maybe, if there's one there. Okay. I think I'll do a bit of heavy haul. This is most certainly not the specification that you really want to be doing a heavy haul in, because it's not got that much power. But this particular engine has what Detroit Diesel describe as, I think it's a turbo brake. Pretty cool sounding, right? Well, essentially it uses the turbocharger as an engine brake. It turns the 12.8 litre engine into a big ass air compressor. And it has a couple of benefits. One, it's specified to have 600 braking horsepower at 2,500 RPM. So Detroit Diesel said, you know what, you can rev it up to 2.5 with the engine brake on, or the turbo brake on. And second, I mean, that's all great. Second is, it's quiet. The only sound is a whistle of the turbocharger. Okay, I mean, that sounds too good to be true. I have basically used the stock this crease bomb sound effects that come with the truck. I would like to drive this manual today, but I'm going to struggle because I can't see the gears I'm in very easily. I'm in neutral right now. That's my dashboard, and I can flick through and look at various screens, but I got to be on the one kind of screen here to see the gear I'm in. so I'm probably just going to end up using this thing automated. Zach did go into some detail about the interior, what it looks like. I've got the manual interior here. Let's jump back out there. So yes, it's configured as a manual. I don't particularly want to make a proper mess, I should say, if I were to drive this stick today. So we'll drive it in automated mode. But yeah, such a beautiful model. Let's go ahead and select first gear and get rid of the parking brake, and let's be on our way. Bit of a stutter there. I don't know whether that would translate in YouTube, but we'll watch this space. So I hope everyone's doing well. I have had a interesting week so far. I live in a southern hot estate. We've had highs in the sort of 105, 108 was the highest, but our heat index has been that little bit higher.
Turn left.
And I know one of my other friends, Bart, oh wow. Did I turn ABS off? I think I should. Let's go ahead and do that now if I have them turned on. So options, gameplay. If you want to see what I've done, you can always pause it, but it's right in here. Did I just miss it? Okay. Turn off traction, turn off ABS. Now what that's going to do with this massively powered engine brake, I can probably quite easily lock my rear wheels when braking, especially if it starts to rain. I'm going to assume that we're good. What time is it? 6:30? Yeah, 6:30. Okay, I want to get in this this car's way. Whoa. All right. So yeah, 350 horsepower is not a massive amount, and 1350 foot-pounds is the important number I think that we need to bear in mind. So I think I'm going to struggle with this trailer, but let's just check the engine brake, see how well that works. Yeah, that seems to work pretty good. That locked its wheels up. I may have to tune that a little bit. This is an experimental version of the engine. I'm playing around with it. But I was chatting with Zach, and I think what I want to do is either incorporate this into my existing, maybe the Still Productions engine pack, or maybe do a drivetrain revision mod for this particular Freightshaker. I think I called it a Freightliner Cascadia. It's actually a Freightshaker. Though I did get the, there's an optional download that gives you the real logos, and I went with that. I added support for this truck in a few mods. I think it was yesterday at the time of creating this video. So the engine pack has support for it. The Caterpillar C15 has support for it. Don't you pull out in front of me, you chump. That was a bit pointless. The QSX19, if you want a 19 litre 800 horsepower engine, you can have one. And what was the other one? What was the other engine? Was it ISX15? I think it probably was. So there's a couple of things that I really like about Jon Ruda's trucks, and I think one is the attention to detail, and Zach's already sort of talked a little bit about this. There's the things like the sticker. Let's just try the engine brake again, just for a laugh. Okay, it wasn't so bad that time. So the attention to detail, and there are things like, if you have the automated, there's a different sticker on the dashboard. If you have the manual, it's a different sticker, and you see the gear lever. That's cool. The trucks have inertia and mass, and I'm speeding. Some of the mod trucks, the trucks don't seem to have any mass, and it may be a small tweak for the developer to make. You can probably incorporate it yourself if you can get into the files. But they don't behave like the stock trucks. Now, I'm not a trucker, at least not in the real world, so I can't tell you if how the game is set up as standard. I'm just letting this thing slow down by itself. This engine sounds alright. This truck feels a little stiff, a little stiffly set up, and maybe you can hear my controller, because yes, I'm one of those, I use a controller. Maybe you can hear my controller buzzing away in my hands. Switch to this view here. Yeah, I went for a real basic spec here, but I kind of like that. There were some school buses. They're new. Don't think they were here last time. Where's my cargo? There it is. Okay. I'm inclined to go on the left side, what with me being British and all, but I think I'm going to avoid this Audi. Don't want to get any of that paint on me. And I guess I'll flip round and back it up here. I see, look at the, talking about details, look at the details on the fifth wheel. You don't have that clean look, you've got grease there and scratches, and that's great. I wonder if I can make it here. So we are arguably, let's drop the suspension, we're arguably a little overgeared for such a low powered engine. It's going to do about 1,000 RPM at 55, and the engine will let you do that because it produces enough torque, but whether I really want to do that with just 1350 foot-pounds, I'm not so sure. I turned off advanced coupling. I suspect that this truck will support that feature, but I'm not using it today. So good enough is good enough, and that is good enough. Let's go ahead, put the parking brake on, get the height right where it needs to be, and connect the trailer. There we go. Okay, how far have we got to go? Only 130 miles today, so that shouldn't be an issue there. Go ahead and select gear. No clutch pedal today because I don't have foot pedals anymore. I did try them and they were okay, but what I found was it's a car setup. Great for a racing car, not so great for a truck. You know, I had real short throw gear lever, short throw pedals, and it just didn't really add anything to the immersion. The controller, it does have its moments when it's like, what am I doing with this? But on the whole, I can make it, I can set it up so that it's where I really want it to be. And, you know, lame things to say by numbers, but so far this thing's pulling just fine. Of course, we're only doing 15 miles an hour, and we're going downhill ever so slightly. Okay, let's select it up the gear for me automatically. I'm still playing around with some of the shift points. Yeah, it's picking up speed. Let's use the engine brake. And it's locking his wheels. Okay. I may have to turn that down just a little bit, and I now can't see. Okay, I'm going to switch to an external view to give me a bit of a clue here. Alright, seems fair enough. Okay, well that's good. Let's work this little engine to get me up to 35. Yes, I'm still playing around with some of the shift points, in fact all of the shift points. I think my torque curve is pretty much where it needs to be, and when I drive it manually, it's there or thereabouts. I might want to give it a few more revs in the lower gears, maybe. If you have some feedback, just go ahead and put a comment below. If you've driven one of these trucks for real, let me know. But I really haven't. I've just started playing around with this engine. It was only in service for either 4 or 8 years, depending on where I look. Let's kill the power. This is a particularly nasty right-hand bend I've got to make, not the first one, the second one at the junction. So I'm probably going to mess this up.
Get ready to turn right.
And if I do mess it up, I'll cut it out of the video, so we'll just do a little, whoops, there we go. Try the engine brake again.
Turn right.
Yeah, it's still locking its wheels. Yeah, I'm going to have to turn that down just a little bit. Well, I can't see right very well, but at least I can see left. Let's take a nice wide angle, I think, here, if I can. Leave it full lock. I might need to slacken off the lock a little bit there. Right, am I going to miss? Am I going to go over the verge? Not the magazine. Yeah, I did. Massively. Okay. At casual, no one will know. Right, Let's get back up to speed. Yeah, so I think I was starting to say that AC went out at home, and that happened on the weekend. And I'm narrating or driving this midweek. My computer is not, it produces enough heat to make the room uncomfortable. And to put that into perspective, it's 106, 107 outside, and the home was a little cooler after a few days. But I mean, it's 10 degrees cooler, it's 15 degrees cooler, it's 94, 95 degrees Fahrenheit, which in Celsius is bloody hot. Sorry, 38-ish. It's as warm as blood, give or take. And all that means is, you know, I don't really feel like creating a video, because I've got a whole bunch of fans blowing off at me. It's gonna give it some power. Get it up to 45 if I can. I'm happy with this boomy engine soundtrack. It's not going to get up to 45 on this hill, is it? Quick drive-by. Yep, there goes the downshift. And it threw me back in the cabin because it's like, hey, this could be dangerous. I'm going to take a quick swig of this energy drink. I'll be right back. Out of the after effect. So, what am I really testing today then? I think I've got my shift points. Like I say, we're maybe 90% of the way there. So I'll just be experimenting, see if there's a moment when, like now, does it really want to be in this gear? Are we in 7 low? Yeah, we're in 7 low. Or do I want to downshift it? When do I downshift? And it's probably going to downshift any second. He says it's 1100 revs. Okay, down to 1000. We'll get downshift 1 or 2. Let's find out. There goes the downshift, and we dropped 2 gears. Okay. Well, technically we dropped a full gear. We just avoided splitting it. It's going to downshift again. 5L. There we go. This is what I would expect and what I would hope it would do. And then is it 4? It goes to 4. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if it goes to 3, which I think it probably will. Go. Wow. We might be going down to 2nd. Who's behind me? Sorry, Gov. Yeah, sorry about that. Let's move over a little bit, or a lot. Alright, it can tackle it in 3rd. So how's it going to behave up the hill in 3rd gear? Is it going to roll it out to the 1900 RPM governor? I think it's 1900. Or is it going to change up? Now, I expect it to hang on to the governor or stretch for the governor. If I were driving this manual, I could force it to upshift. Or I can disable cruise and give it a little less power, and that will encourage it to shift up. But right now, I think it's just going to sit at the governor, doing what, 15 miles an hour? That's okay. Should I have my hazards on at this point? Yeah, you know what? I think I will. Let all these good people know that I am in their way. Sorry, Mac. Sorry, Peterbilt. Good grief. Can you tailgate any closer, Tesla? Right, I'm going to try and force it to upshift. No, it doesn't want to do it. So let's switch to manual and just shift up. There we go. Hey, it's doing it. Oh, what do you know? Actually, the gradient does slack off a little bit up here, so let's shift up at 16. 16 and next gear. Yeah, there's a big gap between 4th and 5th, but that's traditional of this 13 speed. Hey, it's pulling it though. Let's cancel those. Okay, color me impressed. Now where's my boost gauge? There it is, bottom left. Zoom in. Now that's not necessarily modeled accurately, but it's showing pretty much full boost. I'm a little uncomfortable doing that, and I banged the microphone. 700, go shift for the next. Okay, I split that one. I wasn't going to shift up to 6. I wonder if I can get away with just changing from 5th to 6th, keeping it in high. Let's try it. Okay, well that works. Well, little engine, you surprised me because yes, we did bumble along at 15 for the longest time, but we're actually making better than I would have expected progress. I mean, he says doing 40 miles an hour at 1500 revs in 6th gear. Let's go with 7. Here we go. What do you know? Okay. Let's set cruise at 65. How far have we gone? Oh, we've got 2 hours left to go. Now it should be able to cruise along at 55 in top gear, so that's 55. Let's go ahead and do that. Gonna use the left lane. Let's hit cruise down to 55, so I'm going to use the engine brake here. This is top gear engine brake, so we're testing it here. Okay, it's not doing much right now, which I don't expect it to do. Let's drop to 7 high. Okay, that's definitely better. And now it's holding 56, so okay. We didn't lock up, which is important. In the engine definition, I've given it a 3 times engine brake number. And what that means is, SCS unclear what exactly this means, but it means the engine brake is 3 times as powerful as you would expect for an engine of this size. Let's just jump back up into top gear. I just shut off my engine brake. I'm just going to let it coast along. So that tells me that the engine brake is effectively like a 34-ish litre engine equivalent. I'm going to use the engine brake again. And let's split it 8 low.
Caution. We're exceeding the speed limit.
Still picking up speed. Let's downshift to 7 low. I've got a lot of weight behind me and it's slowing it down. Okay. Back up to 8 low. Yeah, that's a very adept engine brake, and no wonder it is too much for the truck.
Go straight.
At least when it's unladen. Okay, let's drop cruise to 55. I'm going to keep it in 7 low. We'll see how well it lugs itself up this hill. I think I'll be downshifting. Okay, so I'll give it a bit of power. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Let's drop. I dropped 3 gears there, or I split 1 and drop 1. And it might need to downshift again. Let's split it to 6 low. Okay, it's doing all right. My expectations are not amazing. I'm going to go ahead and just shift up to 7 low in just a second. Okay, I'm going to put it back into automated because I really wanted to just test the shift points, and I got distracted by playing with the gears myself. I really want to just make sure that it works well in automated. And the same with the engine brake as well. Let's get back on the power. Cruise back up at 55. And we'll see how well it lugs itself. So will it downshift 2 to 5L? 7 low even. My bad. I guess it is. So I'd expect that. Let's turn those lights off. I don't need them right now. So another downshift to 6 low. There we go. Yep, so automated is pretty much shifting as I would expect it to. It's not going through every step. I don't really want it to go through every step. Every split, it's behaving kind of like close to how a real driver might drive this. And I've not finished looking up these trucks on the road. So the other thing I'm testing is the engine brake. That's going to require, going down here with a lighter load, with a medium load, with this kind of heavy load. I would say I need to lessen the strength a little bit right now, but not that much. Maybe. What else? I just heard some family sounds from the other room. I can't do much about that other than cut it out and edit this. Transmission wise, one review I read of the MBE 4000 said that that nice broad torque plateau means that it would work very well with a 10 speed as opposed to a 13. If I'm going to incorporate some additional transmissions in my drivetrain mod, that's the kind of thing that I'd want to be including in there. This overall level of gearing is about right for this engine. It doesn't feel, maybe it's a little too tall actually, thinking about it. You know, when I say it out loud. Yeah, you know, actually it's probably set up for flat roads. So that sign said compression brakes prohibited, and this, the turbo brake, makes the engine a big air compressor. But it's soundless in the real world. I'm gonna just obey the local bylaw. So is there a left turn up here? Yes it is. Oh, I know this one, I think. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And actually family sounds, that to me sounds like my kitten. Or our kitten. He's mine when he misbehaves. He is named after a former cat of mine. His name is Hermes Amadeus. Amadeus.
Get ready to turn left.
I like the name Amadeus so much, I called him that twice. Besides, who doesn't want to be like, can Hermes Amadeus come to the bed, front
Turn
desk or
left.
something? Okay. This isn't quite the one I thought it was. Let's pile on the lock and give it some beans, but it's a bit unnecessary because I've got to turn right down here and back off at 1400. There we go. Yeah, so you see there what I did was when the revs hit 1400, I lifted off the accelerator immediately and it upshifted. Oh, hey! Yeah, that engine brake is way too powerful. That was a bit of service brakes and engine brake. So with a bit of assistance down this hill, it's doing just great. So yeah, I'm happy enough with how it is pulling. I've got low expectations for this amount of power, but it's doing alright. Okay, tap resume on the cruise, get up to 35, let the transmission take the strain. That was the 40, yeah it was I think. Or was it? Huh, can't see. I think that was the 4th to 5th low change, that great big gap in the ratios. Check my progress, 12 miles. Yeah, I'm almost there. Now, something that I'll check, but it takes a lot of miles to check this, is fuel consumption. And it...
Go straight.
Good grief, these brakes are sharp. This is engine brake alone. Okay, it does okay engine brake when it's loaded. I hope that kitty cat hasn't just broken glass. We'll find out. So yeah, the other thing I wanted to measure here is mileage or fuel consumption. It takes more than one trip to do that. I have a good idea what I would expect, but you drive, like in the real world, your driving can affect that number so much. I think in the real world they say it's like 25% either way. Yeah, they're not wrong. And the same with the truck. You know, I might get 3.5 or I might get 5. Okay, it pulls off fine and low. It doesn't bog down. And it's probably going to use every individual gear until we get to 5th low. The second. I think I need to give it a few more revs in the lower gears, maybe another 50 or so. Sometimes the difference, it just comes down to 5, 6 or 7 RPM extra that it really benefits from. I'm easing off the power right now because I've got a red light. Okay, that's off the power there. And brake. Yeah, I'm not good with braking. I haven't got myself adjusted to this truck yet. That was more than a big snatch at the when I stopped. And we're rolling slightly, so I'm using a bit of service brake here just to hold me on the hill. Actually rolling forward. So it's going to help when we move off. Bit of parking brake there, I think. Ah, really? Okay. Back to the grind. Not sure whether you would benefit from automated more in traffic or on the open road. Okay, no, I do know there will be traffic, but on gradients, I think it's hard for an automated transmission to really anticipate what you need. And as I understand, they've come a long way with effectively forward-thinking GPS, and it knows the vehicle, it knows the load, it knows the gearbox. And that's great. Will it ever be as good as a good driver? Kill the power right now, we're going down a hill. I can't see it in my lifetime, but then you never do. The fact that,
Get ready to turn right.
yeah, that's more than a bit savage using the engine brake like that. The fact that a driver knows the road, knows the route, and gets a very good feel for his or her truck, that's one thing. Can AI replicate that? I mean, yes, because it's seeing a pattern. But it would have to drive it. It would probably have to drive the route. Well, no, it's just the same as a human, really. That was even close to that yellow Prius. You don't just jump in a truck and understand how it drives without, on a certain road, without driving similar roads.
Get ready to turn left.
Yeah.
Turn left.
On that ground, we're getting way off topic here. I can see how an AI would have a similar learning curve as a human, unless you can give it all the sensor inputs and it learns from that. In which case you could just record a bunch of driving and feed it into an AI machine and off you go. Is that yellow Prius? Are you joyriding, sir? No, he's turning right there. Left there even.
Get ready to turn right.
Alright, we are practically at my destination. So, observations and thoughts so far. Gear shifting is a little bit more revs in the lower gears would be useful, but not many, so probably 50 at the most. But again, I'll experiment with this. Sometimes you can tweak the lower shift point, and you gotta tweak the higher shift point too. So we'll experiment with that. Whoa! I can't do anything about the brakes, but I can do about how the engine brake works. Let's see. What's going to go here? Okay, let's try that. Clutch engagement torque seems perfectly fine. It doesn't wheel spin off the line, but it also doesn't get bogged down, even with a kind of a tall gearbox and a pretty heavy cargo. Oh, I may have left this a little late. And I'm just moving it here on the idle. Is it in low? Yeah, it's in low. Okay. I would expect it to be. I may have judged this just right and I look like a pro, or I may have been lucky. I think I may have been lucky here. Then again, it's not the hardest place to park. Let's face it. Let's give it a second. I'm just letting it pull itself forward on the idle. There we go. Okay, well we are actually pretty much in the green box, so that is good. Let's go ahead and turn off the engine, and we'll disconnect the cargo. Okay, so the final scores are going to be, what was it, 130 miles or 153? Okay, 153 miles, and I used 36 gallons. I'm still suffering from a bit of heat fatigue, so what's that? Is that four-ish? It's about what I might expect. It's maybe a little higher, but not by much. And I haven't so far done anything to optimize the consumption of this engine. So, okay, well, I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I'll put links to both Zach's video and to the original truck in the description below. It includes some of the other mods that I run in the game. I hope that you enjoyed it. I have enjoyed this truck. I'm going to enjoy tweaking and tuning the MBE 4000 and any other engines I might feel like including. If you have any suggestions or stuff that you want to see, just add a comment below. Other than that, have an amazing time, a great Thursday if you're watching this on a Thursday, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.